хочу большую карту. Чтобы все фичи вот эти побачить. И в пещере построить. И нычку в полу сделать еще. Чтобы вообще...
That's disgusting. How much do you think they How much do you think they actually care about making this 100% real?
None. They don't care at all. We've seen some reaction videos from other professionals in the field. We thought it'd be really cool to do one of our own. So we're just a bunch of VFX artists that are getting together to talk about visual effects and the best shots, the hardest shots that maybe you didn't know were so hard, the shots that didn't look so good after all.
We'll give you our perspective and maybe you'll learn something.
А что нам надо? Что там новое?
Новый шо?
Частота. Вышка.
Ну, нефтяная это, да.
Обозначается?
А там, походу, ящик должен лежать. Ти відкрий карту просто на і дивись ящик. На воді, де є. Походу, там тупо ящик на воді. Бо отображається на карті, все.
The giant effects in Game of Thrones are by far the best visual effects ever done. So here is a giant walking through water. The water splashes are perfect. There is so much complexity in the movement and the motion that you basically have to simulate millions of particles. Somehow he's interacting with the water. The splashes are perfect. And the camera's halfway in the water. I have no idea how they did this shot. Look at that.
Because they figure out like the exact perspective the camera needs to be. They basically scale the entire scene when they film him separately on a green screen. Combined with the fact that he's already a very large dude.
There's two ways you can deal with compositing when you have people. One, they're either filmed on a green screen or a blue screen, and you tell the computer that the green is transparent or the blue is transparent, and the computer does its best to kind of figure that out. The other way to do it is you hire a big team of people to sit there and cut everything out frame by drawing a mask on it. We're not even mentioning the fact that there's skeletons climbing up them, full CG characters. That's just a side thought.
They probably had to animate the skeletons on top of his like CG double.
Yeah.
Which is over top of his actual body.
Dude, I thought this scene was glorious. I loved it.
I mean, it looks very painterly, but it doesn't look real.
I would agree with that.
Because there's nothing like, it's tough to make a dragon look real because there's no such thing.
What about that?
See, that's
Да,
the
ну
difference.
FPS тут,
It's
конечно.
like contact shadows there, and that's always been a struggle. Is like
Пойдет.
the floating hand effect, you know? It's like you got to try to get the shadow just right.
It's beyond the shadow too. It's like the motion of the hand. Like, if the motion's not really touching something and it can't rest on something, it looks funky. But this is pretty good.
Contact shadows are being cast from light still, and in this case, there's still a dome of sky above him, which is what's causing the light, and the dragon's blocking half of it. So the contact shadows should only be really getting a directional soft light from the side and the top. It shouldn't be just an even blur all around his fingers. It's like you'll see the shadow on the top and the bottom of his fingers. And the shadow should really only be on the bottom of his fingers.
We're literally talking about the compositing one tiny stage of an entire workflow and pipeline. It's actually like pretty great.
You know what they're missing right here? They're missing the wind from the dragon's wings as it flaps away in the bushes and whatnot.
Because if we're talking about realistic with that.
Так, як твій називається?
Мій став Руст 1, Ру X3, X4, Стат 5.
One swipe of the wings, both of those actors would be flying away. That's how much thrust.
I don't know about flying.
Absolutely.
I don't know about
This is the problem, is like, you're simulating, not only are you simulating the wind
Oh.
on the dragon's
Yeah.
skin, but also how it folds, and how it stretches, and how it wrinkles, and how the light passes through it, and then how it influences the grass, and how it's influencing the dust, and how it's influencing the actors' costumes. And that just, it's too much. It's
Master.
too much. It's impossible. Unless everything is CG, it's too much. Oh my
Dude,
goodness.
Dragonheart.
Is this more Game of Thrones?
Dragonheart!
This is a classic movie.
This movie
Is
is
it old?
23 years old.
Oh, the original.
I was confused at the time between Dragonheart and Braveheart. Like, were they the same
Same.
thing? It looks pretty good. I mean, the animation's a little clunky. There's a lot of mass. And once again, it comes down to physics. If you can't just physically simulate parts of the dragon, and like it's all by hand, it's hard to make it look real. Okay, so this shot perfectly demonstrates one of the challenges of early visual effects. In reality, shadows are much more dynamic than that, and they actually aren't just black, they're colors, because shadows are an absence of light. So I can block this soft light here covering Ren's face, but notice there's still blue light from that light and blue light from the daylights. The parts that are close to the ground, like right there when his tail is close to the ground, that should be even darker than just that flat shadow.
What you're describing is called ambient occlusion,
Ambient occlusion.
which is
And-
basically just darkness that's calculated by how close two surfaces are to each other.
He looks dry, bone crusty, dry.
Clint's pointing out that there's no like highlights, the shine basically of the light being reflected on them. It should be reflecting the sky, the ground, the world around them. It's just the darker objects you don't
Серую
really see, but
чуть-чуть
still
подлагаю.
creates a subliminal effect.
коли ти
On
біжиш
surfaces,
незаметно.
there's something called the index of refraction. And basically, the more a surface gets parallel to camera, the more reflective it gets. So if I hold this picture towards you, you can see it. You can see really well. Maybe there's a little bit of reflection, but not that bad. And as I turn it more and more and more, so it's parallel.
Может, це в мене? Просто ж. Уже возможно. FPS на немного. К сожалению.
Дискорда что-то открылся.